Today I'm going to show you how to make this chocolate sheet cake that is so easy. It just comes together in a snap. There's no fancy decorations, but it is delicious. It's loaded with chocolate. There's a little bit of coffee in there to bring the chocolate flavor out. And do you see how much buttercream is on top? This is the correct amount of buttercream for a sheet cake. It is basically a lot. Okay, let's get started. 3 cups of all-purpose flour into a sifter, 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, a tablespoon of baking soda, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 2 2/3 cups of granulated sugar, and 1/2 cup of good cocoa powder. Use nice cocoa powder for this. Give it a sift. Okay, that looks beautiful already. Gonna give this a whisk to distribute all those ingredients, especially the leavening agents and cocoa powder. All right, now we're gonna set that aside and mix up those wet ingredients. But first, before we mix up those wet and dry ingredients, let me show you the most perfect chocolate cupcakes ever made with this recipe, and they bake up like perfectly flat. So it's kind of controversial. Some people love a domed cupcake, but if you're decorating it, it could be much easier with a perfectly flat, fluffy, moist, delicious cupcake. Same recipe, just pour in like 3 tablespoons about of batter per cupcake paper. They get really fluffy, so you can't overpour or they will explode out of there. I found this out the hard way. Okay, and while I'm at it, I wanted to show you this app called TikTok. It's a short form video app, and basically it lets you shoot and edit in the app, but you can also add in little transitions. You can add special effects in, you can do slow-mo, reverse, fast, a lot of different options. Part of the reason that I want to share this with you is I get a lot of questions from people who want to start doing food videos, but they can't invest in like all the cameras and the editing software. Just even learning the editing software takes a long time. So you could use TikTok, edit in the app. It's really intuitive, and to get like cool transitions and also make your food look really delicious as opposed to like the boring old kind of like still photo that you might post on Instagram or what other feed. They actually have a cool sweepstakes right now, and you're gonna get 7 people winning an all expense paid foodcation to New York City. You have to post like the most delicious dishes possible and like get creative. Best 7 videos will be winning that trip, and all you have to do is make the video, post with #contest and #savortheflavor, tag me, and that's it. Super easy. I would enter too, but you know, I can't. So if you want to try and win a trip to New York City, download the TikTok app, make a cool video, and use those 2 hashtags. That's it. Okay, back to the cake. I'm adding in a cup of buttermilk, 1/2 cup of sour cream, 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 3 eggs. Nice dash of vanilla, and let's whisk it up. I almost forgot, 1½ cups of strong hot coffee. We're going to combine the wet and the dry in a standing mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, and make sure to scrape the bottom down. Okay, dry mixture into the standing mixer. Going to put that paddle attachment on. Now we're just going to pour our wet ingredients in and mix. I want to warn you, this is a very liquidy batter. You're not going to believe it's going to become a magical fluffy cake, but it will. Scraping the bowl down now because there's always a pocket of flour hiding at the bottom. Okay, and then let's continue to mix for 1 minute. Okay, all done. We're gonna pour it into our prepared 9 by 13 inch-ish pan. I like to line mine with parchment paper, but it's totally optional. I feel like when you do that, you're guaranteed of an easy release and the edges are a little bit less hard. Look at that, so liquidy. It doesn't look like it's gonna be cake batter. This will go into a 350 Fahrenheit oven for about 50 minutes. That's 50. And you really want to make sure the center is set. So give it a spring. Make sure it's not underbaked because it will collapse if you take it out too early. All right, into the oven. While my cake is baking, it's time to whip up a really easy but delicious buttercream. We're starting off with 3 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature into our standing mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. I'm adding in a pinch of salt, and now for 1/2 cup of a nice cocoa powder, and we're gonna beat that into the butter. Slow, and then increase speed. very nice and dark already. Perfect color. Now for about a pound of confectioner sugar. So dump it all in. Normally I'll sift because I'm really concerned about getting lumps. They always stick in piping tips, but this is a nice sheet cake, really easy breezy. We're gonna use a spatula to smooth it. Not gonna have any problems. This will be messy, so I'm covering it up with a tea towel. Okay, looking a little funky now, but a third of a cup of a nice fudge will fix everything. And you can add more fudge if you want to. It really, totally up to you. Scrape the bowl down, and we're almost done. All right, let's taste this and see if it's good. It's good. It's really good. I love the little pieces of salt in there because it just wakes everything up. Now we're going to wait for our cake to be done. Once it's all nice and cool, we can slather this on, add some sprinkles, and that's it. Chocolate sheet cake should be easy, fast, and delicious. This is moist. You're gonna love it. Okay, I'm actually using an ice cream scoop to add all of this delicious frosting on. I do that because it's a little bit neater and you can add in a ton of frosting without tearing the cake or, you know, pushing down too hard. It lets you get a nice thick layer really easily, and being the Virgo that I am, I'm a little bit entranced by the process. Use an offset spatula to smooth things out. You can leave a nice classic ripple or go completely flat. You can also decorate this however you want. Toasted walnuts? Sure. Shaved chocolate, a little cocoa powder, whatever you want. I'm using these really fun chocolate sprinkles, and they're just really, really happy, so I love them. Did I say that was gonna be easy or what? Like literally, there is nothing fancy, but this is so delicious. How do I know that? Because I've made this cake before when I was recipe testing. I would never do something cold for you. That's not cool. All right, I'm gonna take a bite now and report back. Oh my God, that cake is so moist and fluffy. It is ridiculous. Remember how thin the batter was? It was like pouring chocolate milk into a pan, and yet magic happens. Thank you, baking science. All right, I hope you get to try this recipe. Did I mention how fudgy and creamy this like whole buttercream situation on top is? Oh, okay. You gotta make it. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Hashtag contest. Cool transitions, also make it